Video games, my favorite little time wasters. Video games are incredible pieces of media that shape generations and offer worthwhile experiences. Games usually take a lot of time, money, and workforce, which is unfortunate when you realize the existence a lot of these games go through. Most games are just one and done things for most people. Sure, you may replay a game a few times, whether it be because you genuinely enjoyed it, or just because you don't have much else to play. But I feel for most respectable video game players, they just play the new game and move on with their life. And the big fans and crazy appeal these games can have can easily fade away, causing these games to sit on shelves untouched and fade into obscurity. This is unfortunate because, as I mentioned before, these games are super hard to make. Game development is an art that requires a good amount of education and money and willpower. It's complicated, and to see big projects like these do so well for only 1 or 2 months and then just fade away like the last one, kinda hurts. However, there are games that have stood the test of time, games that still have large fandoms to this day, games that continue to get played over and over again, games that just refuse to die. These games feel like they'll never go away, and that's not always a bad thing because they have good reason to remain in the hearts of many. Let's take a look at a few games that truly feel like they'll never go anywhere. Now I'm only going to be talking about games pre-COVID that still have a lasting impact. Also, no games that are constantly being updated and games that are firsts in a long time running series. Like the first Mario game, and like Mario 64 or something, those will never go away because Mario is still relevant and getting games now and has over 100 games in his likeness. Let's be fair here, however, and mention a few games that have remained despite not meeting this criteria that I've made. Of course, Minecraft is the first one that comes to mind, and it's interesting because while most of these games barely garner new fans, Minecraft continues to get more and more players. This game is pretty great, capturing your imagination, just like a sandbox game with some real adventure elements to appeal to the rest of those players. This one hits home for me as I started playing Minecraft around 8 years ago, so it's truly a great game in my opinion. Of course, Minecraft is constantly evolving and getting new content updates even today, so it obviously makes sense I wouldn't include this. Another one I want to give an honorary mention to is Fortnite. I don't have much to say about this one. I tried it, but couldn't really get into it, and the whole game just feels like it's begging for your money. Like it just gives me the feeling that developers are being extremely greedy half the time. Last one I want to mention is Roblox, and this one obviously doesn't count because it's more of an engine than a game, just a platform for people to make quick or in-depth games for other people to browse through and play. I like Roblox, but it's not something I truly find invigorating, especially now that I'm older. Now let's get to the juicy stuff. Here are some true games that are not going anywhere. First I have to mention is Undertale. If you don't know what Undertale is, well, the door is that way, and move out from that rock you're living under. Undertale is a true indie darling. It was developed and made by Toby Fox, a musician. This was his little passion project, and it's very clear a lot of love went into it. Undertale is a simple RPG where you play as a kid who falls into the land of monsters. Somebody get this child new parents. You have to solve puzzles and advance through this realm and fight monsters. If you haven't guessed already, or don't already know, Undertale is a turn-based RPG, and while I'm not an RPG fan, I really like this one. Its combat is completely different from other RPGs, when it's more avoiding attacks from enemies inside this little box, and I know I sound crazy trying to explain it. It's a great game, I swear. It's pretty easy to see why this game still has its fans. It's just a great game in general, so full of life and glamour. The sprite art is not this game's best merit, I do admit, but it looks fine, and it makes sense since the game's creator is not an artist, but it does do a good job conveying what we're supposed to be looking at, so I can't hate on it too much. It works. However, it totally makes up for everything with its music. It's pretty clear Toby Fox is a talented music artist, and this game has an amazing soundtrack. Every tune is infectious. I can't get over these songs. and neither can the internet, considering I hear Megalovania and Your Best Nightmare literally everywhere. However, in my opinion, the music is not the best part of this game. It's good, but I feel like the best part is the characters. I feel this is the true reason this game has stayed for so long. The characters are well made and really feel like real creatures, not people, because, they're monsters. But the most iconic one has to be the Great Papyrus and his brother Sans. I haven't seen these characters for years, and I'll admit it took a little while to actually find their origins. Undertale is not only a phenomenal game, but an amazing experience. I think this game truly deserves the spotlight for years to come. It's just a game worth playing. If you haven't already, I strongly recommend you give this game a try. It's only $10 on Steam, and if you like RPGs, you'll especially enjoy this one. There are some more examples of games that haven't gone away, but what about a whole company? Valve, you may know them for being the curators of Steam, a large platform for downloading games. Steam is pretty great, and it's full of indie titles and AAA games, and it's much easier to develop for PCs, so Steam helps those small, inexperienced game devs to make their mark. I think people overlook the fact that Valve used to make games, though. I think almost every single game Valve has pushed out is still incredibly popular, relevant, and good to this day. One game in particular I immediately point to is Portal. Portal was initially a tech demo made by a bunch of college students, I believe, where the player moves around two of these weird demon portals to solve puzzles and escape my future resting place, also known as Hell. This game was heavily disliked by those who played it, but some representative of Valve saw potential in the project. They hired every single one of them to work on their game, and in 2007, we got Portal. Portal follows our main antagonist, Shell, who wakes up in a strange facility where all the employees have seemingly gone missing. Some disembodied robotic voice leads us through a series of test chambers where we have to solve puzzles, most using, you guessed it, portals. We get our very own portal gun at some point, and we are able to create two portals, the blue and orange ones, each leading to each other. The main puzzle solving consists of button and cube. There are some pretty cool mechanics that this game brings in. It really forces you to use your brain and think of smart ways to use the provided items to make your way through the puzzles. Each one is well thought out, and it's one of the better puzzle games out there, considering it's not only a puzzle game, but an incredible story. We eventually escaped after the voice tries to burn us alive and make our way through the back areas of the facility. Now I want to quickly say this. The environmental design of this game isn't the best. The aesthetic of the game is top-notch and really makes you wonder what happened here. But I feel as if this whole facility doesn't feel like a place people actually worked in. There are random pistons everywhere that don't have a function. Like, why are these here? What are they for? Apart from that, this game looks and functions incredibly well, and it's almost 20 years old. No puzzles feel like filler, and the mechanics are all well-rounded. However, it's not a very long game, and while it has a lot of character, it's not so much something that I consistently want to go back to. Some part of me wonders why this game has such the staying power that it did. Oh, it's probably that. Portal 2 launched in 2011. It feels like it took a look at the last game, patted it on the head, and said, "You are adorable." Portal 2 is probably one of the best games ever. It focuses more on storytelling and comedy, which it did extremely well. For the first half of the game, we have a companion voiced by a British comedian. They pulled the big guns out for this one. Also, major spoilers ahead if you haven't played Portal yet. You can stay under that rock. Thank you. He helps us acquire a portal gun, and we make our way out. When he accidentally wakes the big robot we destroyed last time, GLaDOS, she makes us test. We replace her with the British robot. He turns evil. We get shoved way down in the bottom of the facility. GLaDOS turns into a potato. That is not a joke. We go back up and put GLaDOS back in her body. The gameplay here is similar to the first, but improved in a lot of ways. More mechanics and the whole game is longer. The core gameplay itself is the exact same, but they found a way to innovate it in incredible ways. Portal 2 feels like a true evolution gameplay-wise. They really fine-tuned it. It always finds new ways to keep you on your toes, throwing new things at you. It's pretty great. While the story gets a bit ridiculous at times, it's still pretty interesting. Every character is interesting, and it truly feels like they put a lot of effort into this game. However, my two favorite things about this game is the aesthetic and the final boss. First, let's talk about that boss. The first Portal game's boss was satisfying enough. We killed GLaDOS, and it requires a lot of quick timing. Portal 2's boss is absolutely insane. This one truly does make you use your critical thinking skills like before, but it has you stressing as the room is surrounded by timers. This is extremely well implemented because this boss makes you use your head while putting you under pressure. It's incredibly well done, and come on, that ending sequence is so dramatic. I love it. The aesthetic of the game just blows Last Game out of the water. Some points feel like a little shallow, but the environment design, graphics, and textures are insanely well done. This game is 14 years old, mind you, and they hit it out of the park. It actually feels like a scientific facility, a place people really worked at some point. It's pretty amazing. Both the Portal games deserve their place in history, and I respect all of those who are still big fans of this game. I first played it way later than I probably should, and loved it so gosh darn much. It's an incredible experience. Looking at some of the other incredibly popular Valve games, we have Half-Life. I'm gonna be completely honest, I haven't had the chance to play these games yet, so please disregard me. I want to, but I haven't had the time, but I've heard it's a great game. Now, another Valve game I actually did play was TF2 or Team Fortress 2. This one is pretty cool. It's a multiplayer PvP FPS game where you play as multiple characters with different weapons and movesets. I think this game is popular as it is because of how likable and memorable these characters are. There are such classics on the internet as The Heavy is Dead that will go down in YouTube history. I can't go in depth into this game because I haven't played much of it as I've played as much as Portal, but I can see the appeal. Tell you what, this video gets 30 likes and I'll stream the game. All games have always remained relevant. I mean, they're incredible games. We do have a few games to look into though, and a few more honorable mentions of games that didn't make the list because of time, and they aren't as relevant as these other games. Grand Theft Auto is a game series following you as you do whatever the heck you want. These games do have stories, but the main appeal of and fun of them comes from some sweet, sweet manslaughter. Seriously, this game is just a total sandbox game for psychopaths. Or Steve over there. I think the most relevant one has to be GTA 5 though. This isn't as impressive as the others, but it makes a lot of sense. We are still waiting for Grand Theft Auto 6, the next installment in a game franchise that used to constantly get games. Like, there were 3 GTA games for the PS3 and 3 PlayStation consoles for GTA 5. That really makes you think. Another one is Stardew Valley, another game I desperately want to play but just haven't had the chance to, and don't worry, I've already fortified my house to defend myself after saying such a statement. I'm not sure what the general plot or gameplay is, but it seems to be a farming simulator of sorts. Trust me, I will get to this one when I have a chance. It looks great, and I do really want to try it. I think Fallout 4 also qualifies for the list, and put your pitchforks down, I've actually played this one. This one is around 10 years old, but it still feels like a modern game. I love Fallout, and while my personal favorite has to be New Vegas, Fallout 4 is still an incredible game. It's a game where we have to survive in an apocalyptic world after tensions grew so much during a war that America was bombed. We have to collect resources and explore, as well as build up our camp and find new people. It's a pretty fun game and really well made. It's funny to think the Fallout series went on a hiatus after being a well-known RPG, and came back and turned into a first-person shooter which have shown critical acclaim. Here are some more honorable mentions of games that couldn't make the list. Cuphead is a run-and-gun game full of boss fights. I like this one. Its fun hand-drawn art style is captivating, and it's really difficult and challenging in a fun way. Destiny 2 is another one I find to be pretty popular still, but this one is still getting updates, I believe. Not dismissing this game, I found it pretty fun, but it doesn't really count. The Sims 4 is a cute little life sim, but it doesn't really appeal to everyone, so it's not the most relevant. So those are some games that still remain popular years down the line, and still will remain popular as the years go on. I find enjoying the fact that these games will keep being preserved and enjoyed for generations to come. The amount of work that goes into games can be overshadowed. I think it's truly incredible when games of this quality still stay around. Who knows? There might be more games for a future video, and I plan on playing the ones I haven't just yet. Share your thoughts of your favorite game on this list in the comments below, or in my Discord. I'll leave that link in the description. Thanks for watching, everyone, and if you enjoyed, like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.